How are you letting the love of the Lord your God to work through you in such a way where you keep the priority of allowing Him to lead your worship? Join us now on today's podcast.
This is the Worship Team Training Podcast with your host and training director, Brandon Dempsey. Worship Team Training provides live workshops and online resources to help inspire, create, and transform the leading of worship. Now, here's your host, Brandon Dempsey.
Hey, what's up, friends? Worship leaders, worship teams, how are you? Brandon Dempsey here on this terrific, fantastic Tuesday. Hope that you guys are doing great. And welcome to our Tuesday show here at worshipteamtraining.com and also Worship Team Training University. What's up? All of our good friends right here on both Facebook Live and also Periscope. So glad that you joined us. All you friends, fantastic subscribers to our podcast, iTunes and iHeartRadio. Thank you so much for subscribing. And you guys watching by video, we encourage you to go to iTunes and iHeartRadio to subscribe to the Worship Team Training podcast. And those of you who are listening to the podcast, go to facebook.com/Worship Team Training. Also follow us on Periscope and Twitter. We got Michelle Stokely right here coming up, and I'm going to share with you a little bit about who she is, because you may have seen her before. You may have seen her post before, which I'll get to that in just a second. What's up, everybody? If you would, go ahead, please, right now, and swipe and invite. If you're watching by video, let everybody know what's up. If you're listening by audio broadcast, do the same thing. Please share this link with those that you love, those that need to hear this message about the love of God. We talked yesterday in our word of the week about priority. That is our theme of this week. And then what can we do as worshipers, but also worship leaders, to allow the love of God to flow through us in such a way that leads to worship, and it's not about ourselves. So good morning. I'm Brandon Dempsey. I'm a follower of Jesus, happen to be the CEO and founder of worshipteamtraining.com. And what do we do? Exactly this. We train worship teams and worship leaders just like you on a Friday or Saturday, which is what we call our private customized workshops. We also do regional events as well. If you're interested, please go to worshipteamtraining.com/workshops. And also we have a mentoring program that's just for worship leaders. If you're interested in having a 10-week program that walks with you, that's custom tailored, suited, fit for your needs in worship ministry, we go along with a book, a curriculum, a video with me or one of our other staff members once a week to walk through your world. Go to worshipteamtraining.com/mentoring and we'll get you the info ASAP. Be sure to sign up for the Monday Morning Digest that went out yesterday. All you need to do is head back over to worshipteamtraining.com. And, of course, lastly, go to WTTU.co, which is our university online membership site, in which you'll find Thursday trainings, unlimited webinars, 800 pieces of articles and videos, and new videos and course curriculums coming up soon, all for you. As well as these Tuesday shows like we're doing right now at 11 a.m. Central. You see it every week, every Tuesday. So if you want to dive in more, go to WTTU.co. So welcome, Michelle Stokely. She is from Greenville, Tennessee. Michelle has not only been on our show before, but she is also not just a worship leader at her church over at Harvestville. I probably messed up the name already. I'm so sorry. I'll have her clarify it. But Michelle is our marketing director as well as our membership director here at Worship Team Training University, and doing a lot of awesome stuff. And I'm so glad, Michelle, to have you on the team. You're an outstanding stick of dynamite for us, bringing a lot of contribution. And we're so excited that you're here today. So everybody, please welcome Michelle Stokely. How are you, Michelle?
I am great, and it is such an honor to be here on the show.
Well, it is great to have you. This is kind of funny how this all started out, because we had, as we worked with Michelle coming up just this past year with her and her needs for her worship team, you know, she's just a great fit for what she does. You see her posts that she's doing on Facebook and everything else. She runs an awesome ministry as well, Jeremiah Ministries, right? Can you talk a little bit about that? All right, so we lost you real quick. Michelle, yeah. Sorry. Can you tell us a little bit about your ministry, Jeremiah Ministries?
Jeremiah 29:11 Ministries. It is a social media ministry, and it uses digital media like videos. We do graphics, write articles, and basically it's just to spread the love of Christ, in an arena, in a sphere of influence where you can reach people who normally wouldn't come into a church, but they'll scroll through a line or they'll talk to you through a chat messenger, but they may never step foot in a church to hear the message, to hear the gospel. So it's a media ministry that tries to work a little differently traditional avenues. So
awesome. And tell us about your church name again. I'm so sorry.
New Harvest Church in Greenville, Tennessee.
Okay, awesome. And you're the worship leader there?
I am. I'm a worship leader there, and we have me, and we have Brandon Mitchell, who is the music director, and another worship leader there.
Cool. So tell us about your church as far as, is it all contemporary? Is it blended? What's the makeup of your style and people?
It's blended. We have people from all walks of life. We have people of all ages there. We have a lot of younger people there, a lot of children there. And the music that we do, the worship that we do, it's blended. There will be times that we have, we bring in some of the older songs, we bring in hymns, but then we also blend that with the contemporary Christian music that you hear, the modern worship. So we have a blend, and everybody seems to embrace that really, really well. So
awesome. Love it. Well, guys, this is a blessing to have Michelle on here. And Michelle, thank you for what you're doing with us over here at Worship Team Training and the university site, as well as many of our guys behind the scenes, Barry Westman included, who's probably watching, and a team of others. Guys, we want to also just let you know we have things coming up. I forgot to do a little bit of house cleaning real quick. If you join us tomorrow and sign up at WTTU.co for the David Manor webinar, is going to blow your socks off. 50 things of what to do, what not to do for worship leading. That's tomorrow at 12 p.m. Central with David Manor. And then on Thursday, so excited, Michelle. Thursday, we have Jenny Owens back. Jenny Owens will be here to talk about leading worship and what it means to lead worship by the heart. So it's going to be fantastic. 11 a.m. Central this Thursday. And you got to be a member at WTTU to watch these trainings and unlimited webinars as well. So check it out. Michelle, as you know, because you've been working with us on this topic, and about loving God the most as a worship leader and worship team, we're commanded to love God with all our heart, soul, mind, and strength. But do you struggle with that as a leader of worship when you step out to either lead worship or when you step out to your community?
I wouldn't say that it's something I struggle with a lot now, but it is something that I had struggled with in the past, in the sense of, when you love God, when you love God the most, you put him first in all things. And there were times that I put myself first when it came to leading worship or in the community. I put what I wanted first, or how I felt. I put that above, because there's sometimes you don't feel like doing things, or you may not want to do something, but God really is trying to lead you in a certain direction, or has given you certain things he wants you to do, and it might not flow with what you want. And there have been times where I've been focused on other things that are going on in my life, and I've put my attention there instead of putting it on God when I'm in worship. I've had that happen before, and that is that was really what I've had to overcome in that.
What helped you to overcome that?
Of learning to trust God with things, learning to trust God with my life, really, because I wasn't so when I was able to say, okay, God, I give this to you, I hand this over to you, and I'm going to let you take care of this. If I was having some kind of a personal issue or something going on at home or a health issue, it was easier for me to focus on him when I could say, 100%, I trust you with this.
Yeah.
I trust who you are. I trust you as a father. I trust you as a provider. I trust you, as my shield, as my healer. It was a lot easier to put him first in all things when I was able to look and recognize who he was and honor him in those roles in my life. He is the Lord of my life. He is God. But there protector, our shield. And those things, when you can recognize him and honor him and allow him to fill those roles, it's a lot easier to let go of everything else and keep your eyes on him. In my opinion.
Yeah. No, I love that. So what are the tough moments that occur that you find yourself struggling to give those things over to God when you're leading worship? When do those tough times occur?
It's usually when I have just entered into something that's really difficult, whether it be a situation that has happened in my life, or, I've dealt with chronic health issues before. I can be standing there in a lot of pain, sometimes feeling physically really bad. And that can be a struggle to keep my focus on God, keep my focus on what it is that I'm doing for him, allowing myself to be used as a vessel. When you have a lot of things going on in your body, for example, that can be distracting. That can take your focus away. So it's usually whenever I'm starting into something and I'm having to work it out emotionally or physically as to, okay, God, this, I'm going to get through this. You've got this. You can handle this.
Exactly.
It's usually the entering in of it that's the hardest part.
Right. So you struggle with physical pain when you're leading worship. I'm sure there's other things that take precedent within leading worship, like, whatever's going on technically, whatever may not be working in a song. So how important is it when you keep your focus? How important is that for your team?
Well, it's really important. Because we work as a team. We rely on each other. And there are times, we take cues from each other that we have to listen to one another, what one another's doing. And if I'm distracted and I'm not focused, then I'm not going to be able to lead them or support them in where it is they're wanting to go. If Brandon, he's usually up front and I'm on the keys. If he's trying to give me a direction, he usually has he'll put his hand behind his back and sign to me where he wants me to go in the song, where it is he's going. If I'm distracted and I can't keep my focus, then I'm going to miss that and I might go into the wrong part of the song.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But what's it? Having the focus is definitely important. What more does it do for you when you're able to focus on God and not the other distractions?
It relaxes me because I don't feel so much pressure. I don't feel the pressure to have to take care of it on my own. I'm not. If I know God's got this, and one of the things that we always say is, even if our vocals are off, God is taking care of it between our vocals and their ears. Because we don't want to be standing up there worrying so much about how we sound, trying to perform rather than worship. And so, I think it takes a lot of pressure off.
How does that, when you relieve that pressure and you're able to focus as a team, what effects does that have on the church?
oh man, the Spirit just moves, and God is God regardless, and God can work through anything. But when we are able to 100% wholeheartedly worship God with our focus on God, that relates over into the congregation. They can tell the difference. Because then they see what we're doing. They can see that we're in it. They can hear that we're in it. And that helps them come into that presence as well, and to kind of let go themselves. Mm-hmm. So that helps them to worship. That really helps the congregation to let go and come into the presence of God.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, so question of the day. Thinking about this, there's two ways. I mean, it can be and or both, but two ways for you. What's more important in dealing and understanding about loving the Lord with all of our heart, soul, mind, and strength, keeping that as our focus? What's more important, on stage or off stage?
You cut out on me.
Well, you cut out on us. So, okay. So I ask again. So what's more important in the love of God, on stage or off stage?
Honestly, when I'm off stage, that relates into every aspect of my life. I mean, on stage, of course, it's going to be important, but it doesn't do me any good to be up there on the platform, feeling the love of God and just enjoying the presence, if I'm not translating that into my everyday life and walking that out in the relationships that I have with other people or people that I come across in the community, who or they need a nice gesture, they need kindness and compassion. Mm-hmm. It's not going to do me any good to be up there on a Sunday doing all that if that is not translating over into my everyday life.
Awesome. Michelle says this. Another Michelle, our member, says what happens on stage doesn't mean anything if you aren't doing it right off stage every day. Thank you, Michelle Renee. That's awesome. What's your thought to that? What Michelle Renee just said?
I'd say that's on point. I mean, because it's people, you encounter people every single day, and everybody matters. Everybody on a Sunday matters that you're up there in front of, but the people out in the community, the people out in the world that you encounter, they matter too. They're just as important. So what it is that you're showing your congregation, you need to be showing to everybody else. Mm-hmm. You need to show that to everybody else. It is just as important. Otherwise, what are we doing on a Sunday up on that platform? What are we doing? Are we putting on a show? Are we trying to make people think that's who we are? Mm-hmm. If we're not walking that out every day, mm-hmm. Is that really who we are if we are not walking that out every single day? Mm. Or is it just for a show, for a Sunday, just to look good in front of a church congregation?
Yeah. Amen. Okay, so take us home on this. What does it mean for you? What do you do when you're on stage to get out of the way?
I have this inner dialogue in my up here a lot of times where I'm saying, "Okay, God, you've got this. Use me, lead me through this. You're going to have to use my voice, use my hands, God. You've got this." And there are times that I picture Jesus right in front of me. Mm-hmm. Sure. It's this inner dialogue that's constantly going up here where I'm having to pray while I'm right in the middle of it, and it's constantly going because that's where I'm trying to keep my focus. I try to focus on what I'm doing, but at the same time, I'm saying, "Okay, God, you got this. You've got this, God. You've got this, God. You're going to use me, God, just constantly." Well, about 99%.
Yeah, right. So, when you're leading worship each week, what is something that just, bothers you technically that you say to yourself, "Oh, not again"? before you lead worship or when you're leading worship?
My monitor.
Okay, that's good. What about the monitor? What's the problem?
We've been doing a transition with our sound, our sound equipment. So we have this new soundboard that we are working with, and to get the balance right, because we can come in on a Thursday and have it set one way and come in on Sunday, and it can sound completely different. So where I was hearing myself just fine in the monitor, or hearing the keyboard just fine in the monitor, all of a sudden it sounds like I'm off in the distance. I can hear it out in the rest of the church. I can hear myself like an echo, but I can't hear myself here to tell what it is that I need to do with my voice. So if something like that happens in the middle of worship with the congregation, like, it gets loud. Sometimes it gets really loud in there. And if it starts getting loud and I can't hear myself, I'm having to try to remember how it feels. You know, because there's a feel beyond just the sound. There's a feel to your voice when you hit certain notes and things. So I have to try to go on, okay, does this feel right? Because I can't hear it. So God, please help me here. What
do you do to keep your cool when things like that happen?
That's the point where how I'm saying, okay, God, you've got this. This isn't about me. This is about you. You got this. You're going to take care of it. You know, it's just, like I said, it's basically just trying to constantly tell myself, God's got this.
Yeah.
God's got this. Because even if I think I've got 100% control over it, I really don't.
Right. Yeah. I mean, this is where still got that. Not really neat. Yeah. I mean, this is where the rubber meets the road, is when we say that we love the Lord with all of our heart, when we say that God, we're giving this over to you and we want you to take control. But when technicalities happen and they get in the way, then we're really put to the test about what we believe. So then how do you encourage other team members in your team to stay focused as you are?
One of the things that we, not just me, but we emphasize is that reliance upon God. Just, not being led by ourselves, but, letting the Holy Spirit lead us. And remembering, He's our source. Right. I am not the source for that team.
That's good.
People can get really dependent upon another person in a team.
Right.
And we have to remember that the people they're not our source. We can all flow together in the Spirit, with the Holy Spirit, and be Spirit-led in that without making someone else our source. Mm-hmm. We have to rely upon the Holy Spirit in that. So that's something that we really emphasize. That helps. Mm-hmm. And I think when you can walk in that, and it is a process, it's a process to do that. But when you can walk that out and you can walk through that, I think that helps as a team. Absolutely.
So the little things that we do, I think it's important when you say that, our team is watching us. And it's important for us to model it, but I love what you just said. We need to also model how the team member needs to be interdependent and not so reliant upon the leader. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Very good. Well, this is great, guys. We thank you for very much, Michelle, for coming in today, sharing your heart and your ministry, and also just letting people know what you do behind the scenes here at Worship Team Training, and all the great inspiration that God's given you to share with us. Thank you.
Well, thank you. It's an honor to serve, and it's an honor to be here.
Awesome. And guys, we thank you for your for joining us today here on our Tuesday show, watching, listening to what's happening. We thank you guys. We want to, Valerie, thanks so much for the hearts. Appreciate that, girlfriend. How you doing? And Scott Kirsch and Teresa. We got others that are coming on Facebook Live. Thanks so much for watching. And of course, Michelle Ruiz and others watching by Periscope that are our members right here at Worship Team University. And look, if you're interested in what we had to share at Worship Team University, that's Worship Team Training University. I'm messing up our own name. It's WTTU.co, and you'll find more videos like this, but training videos just by me, training videos by Rich Kirkpatrick, Jamie Harville. We have, David Manor coming tomorrow, Jenny Owens. We have a lot of people that are on board doing a lot of great, fantastic things, and this is all for you. So you're not going to find another on-demand membership website like this with the content that we have and the way that we personalize and curate each topic for your needs. So we hope that you join us. Go to WTTU.co. And until then, hey guys, look at the events page on WTTU.co. Look at worshipteamtraining.com for a workshop, for mentoring, what we can do for your church. This is why we do this every week, because we want to inspire and give you guys hope by coming to you every Tuesday to give you some tools that will be helpful for your worship team. And hey, if you find something along the way that is a question or is a challenge to what you're doing in your team, let us know. We can do a show about that. We can address it publicly and let everybody know what's going on, because this is how we grow together. So guys, thanks so much for coming in today. Michelle, again, thank you for your time this morning. Awesome.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome. And guys, remember, we'll see you back next Tuesday at 11 a.m. And be sure to sign up for the webinar. And Jenny Owens coming up tomorrow and Thursday. Love you guys. See you guys back very soon. Bye.
This has been a Worship Team Training broadcast and digital production with your host and training director, Brannon Dempsey. Worship Team Training provides live workshops and online resources to help inspire, create, and transform the leading of worship. We'll see you again right here on worshipteamtraining.com.
Telling you right now, you need to grow as a leader of worship. No matter if you're a musician, singer, worship leader, pastor, audio tech, God has called you to something greater. The question is, are you stepping into it? The deeper question, how are you growing into that role? This is why we're here to help you at Worship Team Training University. We have already, I've mentioned through the broadcast, all the content that we offer on demand, 24/7, unlimited webinars, downloadable resources, ebooks, other downloads, you name it. But it's all right here for you and your growth, but you got to take advantage of it. So go to WTTU.co/enroll. That's ENROLL. And just in case, if you missed our specials, email me, Brannon at WTTU.co, and I will give you a free VIP 7-day pass. But you must act now. Email me, that's Brannon, BRANON, at WTTU.co. Better yet, check out a membership for yourself, WTTU.co.